Few brands have the cachet, exotic heritage, and unique identity that GM's Hummer brand exudes. It has a brand image and equity that sets it apart from most automobiles in the industry. Within General Motors Corporation, it represents an important growth opportunity in a highly competitive and dynamic market. The Hummer can trace its roots to AM General and the year 1979, when the U.S. Army issued a draft specification for a new light tactical vehicle that could replace light civilian trucks and various other specially designed Army vehicles. The specifications indicated that the Army wanted a versatile, cross-country vehicle capable of performing both combat and combat support roles. Other attributes included durability, mobility, and reliability, diesel-powered automatic transmission, and capable of being modified to carry all sorts of communications and weapons systems. Thus, the concept for a high-mobility, multi-purpose wheeled vehicle, nicknamed Humvee, was conceived. AM General became one of 3 contenders awarded an Army contract for the design and construction of 11 prototype Humvees, 6 weapon carriers, and 5 utility vehicles. Civilians learned more about the Humvee during the 1991 Gulf War, or Operation Desert Storm. Photographs and video broadcasts from Kuwait spawned a great deal of interest in the Humvee from the American public. In 1992, AM General began selling the Hummer H1. In 2002, AM General began producing the Hummer H2, which was marketed and sold by General Motors. Hummer H1 was essentially a civilian version of the military Humvee, a large, heavy vehicle, over 8,500 pounds, with a large diesel engine and complex driveline. It got about 10 miles per gallon, but was excellent off-road, an icon of strength, durability, and rugged individualism. It originally cost about $50,000 and attracted off-road enthusiasts, celebrities, and men who wanted to make a tough guy statement. H1 buyers were 95% male, and sales have been about 700 a year. There are about 12,000 of these macho mobiles on the road today. The last Hummer H1 for commercial sale rolled off the assembly line in 2006. In a statement issued by Hummer General Manager Martin Walsh, the reason for dropping the Hummer H1 from the line was to focus on models with broader appeal, instead of the small niche market attracted to H1. In 1999, AM General sold the marketing rights to the Hummer brand name to General Motors. Under this agreement, AM General continued to produce the Hummer H1. In 2002, AM General opened a new plant to produce the Hummer H2 SUV, and later in 2005 an SUT, or Sport Utility Truck. Hummer H2 was positioned as a kinder, gentler truck, while maintaining the macho mystique of the brand.
For the H2, we realized that there was a wide variety of people. A lot of athletes love this vehicle. I think it fits them. And besides that, there are a lot of women that buy it. And believe it or not, they carpool in it. It's a vehicle that makes you feel safe, makes you feel strong, and makes you feel in control. And I think a lot of people have found that those are good feelings.
In fact, the H2 was only slightly smaller and heavier than the H1, with tires as high as a kitchen table and side mirrors as big as manila folders. Yet it performed more like a well-mannered SUV. Buyers for the H2 were successful achievers and rugged individualists. A large percentage of the buyers for the H2 were women, about 25%. Sales were phenomenal, about 20,000 in the first 6 months. Hummer H3 was introduced in spring 2005. Configured as a midsize SUV and priced starting under $30,000 and going up to $40,000, the H3 looked a lot like the Hummer H2, but was much smaller and got an EPA estimated 20 miles per gallon on the highway.
General Motors did develop the H3 knowing that we had to have a vehicle that could be in production and have high sales. We did not become a dealer until we knew that that vehicle was going to be in production. One of the things that you can now see, you probably wouldn't have thought about it being important, but is the gas mileage. It ranks up there very well, over 20 miles a gallon it can get on the highway, and that's important in this day and age, and they foresaw that, and it also beats the competition when it comes to that. But it didn't give up anything to get that. It still has off-road capability. It still has the design, unique design elements that have been important to the Hummer.
The H3 was less expensive due to the fact it is a mid-size utility entry. The lower price made the H3 affordable for a younger demographic. However, the H3 had the same off-road prowess as the larger H2 and was infused with the same military styling and take-the-hill attitude. GM is counting on the Hummer H3 to increase the volume and accessibility of the brand to more customers through its Hummer dealers.
We're seeing customers now that we would never have seen with the H2 that are coming in and buying the H3. They wanted the product, they like the look. It's more priced around $30,000 and they can afford it.
As a part of its brand recognition strategy, GM now sells Hummers through separate dealerships which have a distinctive design, sort of a militaristic steel, glass, and concrete Quonset hut look. Opportunities in international markets are strong. In 2006, GM began assembling Hummers at a plant in Port Elizabeth, South Africa, for local South African consumption and for export to other markets.
Like nothing else is the slogan, and that's exactly what we were getting. We were getting commercials and advertisements that were like nothing else, and the vehicle itself is like nothing else, so we didn't know if the public would buy into that, and obviously they have.